A warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining us on Nationwide today, reaching you live on the network service of the NTA. I'm Ruth Aguela. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, has warned against leaving the social media to operate without regulation, as this, he says, could result in more lawlessness, violence and deaths, but was quick to point out that the federal government is not against free speech. In a statement from a presentation made at the Kwararafa Media Award, Garba Shehu said the emerging modern media platforms has played a strong role in promoting information sharing, strengthening democracy, and building networks of relationship, but without supervision or control, the nation risks more havoc. He further said no government has the right to muzzle freedom of speech. The Senior Special Assistant noted that in every part of the world, journalists go through some form of training, accreditation and licensing before applying the trade, just like doctors. But with a phone, a tablet or laptop, anyone can reach millions, sometimes for good and other times with ulterior motives. The Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, and Garba Shehu were honored with Media Excellence of the Year awards. Let's go to legislative affairs now. The challenge of attaining a stable and sustainable power supply in Nigeria has been a topical issue for quite some time now. This time, the 9th Senate has taken it upon itself to solve the puzzle. Its efforts culminated in convening a roundtable discussion involving the Senate, Ministry of Power, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, and experts in electrical installations. Let's hear from Ignatius Ungwa.
On the 19th of November this year, Senate resolved to carry out an investigation into the causes of the impediment in Nigeria's power sector. This roundtable discussion is one of the resolutions of that motion moved by Senator Chukwuka Otazi. Participants here were categorical and clear on some issues that need to be addressed urgently in order to give way for stable power supply in Nigeria. Lack of institutional capacity, defects in the Electricity Power Sector Reform Act of 2005, political interference, energy theft, and environmental issues like right-of-way were some of the issues raised.
It is a concern of the Senate and its leadership that we have to come and tell ourselves the truth, look into each other's eyes and say the truth, so that we can come to grips with the major issues that have been bedeviling this sector.
Ministry of Power, Bureau for Public Enterprises, MBET, and NEC will require different sets of performance indicators to drive their different oversight activities.
Fast-tracking implementation of federal government intervention projects, example Mambila Hydro, Zangiro, Kashimbila, Dadinkoa, and others.
To make Nigerian power sector very competitive, these participants believe there is need to ensure liquidity, change of energy consumption pattern from being residential to industry-oriented, and addressing the issue of mismatch in foreign exchange operations.
The industry has not charged cost-reflective tariffs, so that has built up. This has led to low remittance to GENCOs for energy supplied. GENCOs have been unable to meet their GSA, that's the gas supply agreement obligations. This has led to power availability drop.
Having keenly listened to the various speakers, President of the Senate Ahmed Lawan stressed on the critical role of the power sector to the economy and the readiness of the National Assembly to amend the Electricity Power Sector Reform Act of 2005 when the need arises.
I believe that this is a sector that needs a declaration of emergency. If we went wrong with our privatization of GENCOs and DISCOs, the time has come to look into it Whatever we have to do to review these things, we should do. We must go really, in the interest of the people of this country.
One of the lead consultants explained that Nigeria's power sector needs 1.2 trillion naira to generate 4,000 megawatts annually. The outcome of this meeting is expected to be presented at Senate plenary for consideration and transmission to the executive as a legislative recommendation. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
And on fighting corruption, Minister of Police Affairs Mohammed Megari Ngadi said the federal government will not rest on its oars in the quest to make Nigeria a corrupt-free nation. The minister said this on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari at the EFCC Summit on Anti-Corruption in the Transport and Marine Sector, commending the EFCC and other related agencies of government for successful records so far. The minister urged them to ensure that there are no sacred cows.
We cannot, as a country, move forward if corruption is not fought to a standstill. It is no exaggeration to state that the maritime and transportation industry is pivotal to the growth of the economy of any country. It is critical to the ease of doing business, both with local and foreign investors. It is in realization of this that my administration has, over the last 4 years, embarked on audacious reforms of the economy, and the benefits are already visible for all.
Other speakers at the summit agreed on the need for synergy between all arms of government responsible for the implementation of the anti-graft policy. The need for states and local governments to be part of the federal government's stride to sanitize the country was also emphasized. Still on corruption, more Nigerian youths are becoming active participants in the fight against corruption, having seen its negative impact in the social and economic development of the country. Francis Fom was at the Michelle Youth Say No to Corruption campaign in Abuja and now reports.
The youth take the lead in ridding Nigeria of corruption, and this gathering is not only to sensitize more youths, but also to honor those among them that stand out in that regards.
I have always been this very driven person that feels like, she can stand up for every person's right and then, is the boldest amongst all to confront what it is and all that.
If you say no to corruption, and you say no to corruption, and you say no to corruption, corruption will be no. So it's about all of us coming in together to say no.
Speakers are quick to remind the youth again about the ills of corruption.
The moment your conduct, your actions or your inactions affects in your own dishonesty, affects your next neighbor, you are corrupt.
You want somebody who gives you money before you can vote, and then you want that man to come and perform when you voted a carpenter and moved a banker.
Zero tolerance for corruption is a linchpin that all of us should key in and take advantage to nip corruption in the bud.
The youth campaign against corruption is in commemoration of 2019 International Anti-Corruption Day with the theme, Together We Can Fight Against Corruption. In Abuja, Francis Fom, NTA News.
In a related development, the growing impact of corruption has continued to erode society of leadership values, transparency and accountability. Now, in the midst of competitive demands for development, these concerns prompted a road walk by 3 leading agencies on anti-corruption crusade to mark International Day Against Corruption. Let's hear from Abubakar Usman Akwanga.
According to statistics released by the United Nations, every $1 trillion is paid in bribes, while an estimated $2.6 trillion are stolen annually through corruption, which amounts to more than 5% of global domestic product. While in developing countries, the United Nations Development Programme says funds lost to corruption are estimated at 10 times the amount of official development assistance. Worried by the alarming figures, the Action Aid, in collaboration with the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and the National Orientation Agencies, stormed streets in the city centre of Abuja to condemn the social pandemic. The collective desires of these groups is to reduce corruption and entrench best leadership qualities that will return Nigeria to a days of glory. The collaborative agencies promised to continue to work on innovative solutions to win the battle against corruption and to ensure resources serve the people better, in line with the 2019 theme, which is United Against Corruption.
That fighting corruption begins with each and every one. You must reject corruption, you must not accept it, you must challenge it wherever you are. That is the only way for us to make progress.
The government has a commitment to fight corruption, and so let's take it from there. So we are holding them responsible that those who are looting sanctions and justice should not be delayed. Let them go to jail.
If you don't like a thing, you in your house, you send it away. And so as Nigerians, we are taking this work to say we are sending away and sending out corruption from Nigeria.
All right, and I know Lagos is not left out in the fight against corruption, so let's join Jennifer in that end to give us more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Jennifer.
Ruth, thank you for joining us in Lagos, and we'll start with the World Anti-Corruption Walk. Now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, led a team of federal agencies on the sensitization walk against corruption in Lagos. It is part of activities to mark the 2019 World Anti-Corruption Day. Paul Omukagu has details.
The walk, tagged Zero Tolerance to Corruption, Head EFCC Zonal Office Lagos Mohammed Rabu emphasized the need for Nigerians to rise up against corruption. He urged them to support the federal government's effort to sanitize the country by saying no to all forms of corrupt practices.
We are all here to fight corruption. We can't do it alone. Anywhere you are an ambassador, you are a crusader. To make Nigeria great again, we must fight corruption.
Other speakers from the maritime industry, civil societies organization, and Nollywood echoed the power of unity and the fight against corruption.
We look forward to strengthening collaboration across the agencies of government. The agencies are striving very hard. There are certain decisions that we're embarking upon. These decisions are to strengthen and enable us to have accountability and transparency in our operations.
No matter how little we have at home, we should start from good. We need it not only today, not only tomorrow, but it should be a continuous process. This will lead to our economic recovery.
The work started from the EFCC office at Kogi through Kefi, Obalende, Igboshere, Freedom Park, and back to the EFCC office. The International Anti-Corruption Day has a global team united against corruption. In Lagos, Paul Omukagu, NTA News.
Now, recently, the movie Your Excellency was premiered in Lagos. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, says the movie serves as a yardstick to weigh the growth of the Nigerian movie industry. Uzezi Arure tells us more.
Of Nollywood movies converged on Lagos for the premiere of the movie Your Excellency. The social media-driven comedy is described as a political satire that tells the story of a failed presidential candidate who becomes a credible contender after his dance moves goes viral on social media.
If you look at Nollywood of 10 years ago and today, we've grown leaps and bounds. We're on the world map now.
The star-studded movie features Akin Lewis, Sheyi Law, Tony Toons, Lala Akindoju, amongst others.
Years back, nobody want to watch our movies. They call it crap. But we're growing by the day. It's wonderful.
A technological point of view, we've advanced. We can't compare the equipment we used then and what we use now. In terms of actors, I'm sure you can, from a 2-year-old to an 80-year-old, you can get actors of all variations.
According to the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, the movie will reorientate the public on the power of social media and the need for people to use it wisely.
If you look at the number of screens in 2015, the number of screens today, they've almost doubled. By my last reckoning, we have about 211 screens, and I'm sure that by 2023, we might have about 400 screens. Now, so what is happening to the creative industry that is expanding rapidly, and with the kind of incentive that is being given by the central bank and some banks focusing on the creative industry, then we have an industry that is doing very well.
Your Excellency has Funke Akindele Bello as both lead actor and director. In Lagos, Uzezi Arure, NTA News.
Now to a Catch Them Young initiative, the Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, has re-emphasized the role of technology and technological innovation in nation building. The minister said this at the musical festival and awards night of the Caleb Group of Schools and University of Lagos. Annie Daniels completes the report.
The musical festival with the theme Joyful Tidings featured Nigerian gospel artists who led guests in praise and worship to God. The Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, commended staff and management of the Caleb Group of Schools and Universities for churning out responsible youths who he says are capable of building a strong and virile nation. Ogbonnaya Onu further advised school authorities to pay adequate attention to technology, identify students with technological skills and help them actualize their dreams.
We are moving our economy gradually away from this to make sure that our economy no longer depends entirely on commodities, but will depend on knowledge and innovation.
Other dignitaries, including representative of former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, took turns to present their goodwill messages.
As you come to a program like this, you get to appreciate the depth of talent that is in the school. So we represent a breeding ground for talents, and there are those who come so talented that they cannot hide.
The mission statement of Caleb is just about raising godly leaders, and of course in their academics and in their morals.
This Caleb Group of Schools is a faith-based school and has produced notable stars in various fields of endeavor, including renowned saxophonist Bolaji Bangjoko in Lagos. Annie Daniels, NTA News.
That's a contribution from Lagos. Nationwide continues after this break. Stay with us.
They swore an oath to serve our fatherland and defend the people. They traded their freedom, comfortable homes, and mortgaged their lives on the battleground for our unity and peaceful living. These are the great, fearless, loyal, and committed Nigerian armed forces who risked their lives courageously to safeguard our borders. But in the line of duty, many never returned. Nigerians, arise, let's celebrate our fallen heroes. Put on the remembrance emblem with pride to support the incapacitated and families of our fallen heroes.
It is indeed befitting to honor the memory of the gallant hearts of young men who paid the supreme sacrifice to keep the country united.
President Muhammadu Buhari enjoins all ministries, parastatals, religious and corporate bodies to donate generously to the Emblem Appeal Launch. Send your donations to these accounts. Account name, Emblem Appeal Launch. Account number 393-200-7526. EcoBank Nigeria PLC.
Nigeria is rich in culture, diversity, style, fashion, and delicacies. The authentic Nigerian food, fashion, and hair fair gives you the opportunity to showcase the best creativity in Nigerian food, fashion, styles in natural hair and braids. Don't miss this event. The 2-day event is taking place at the prestigious Balmoral Convention Center, Federal Palace Hotel, Ahmadu Bello Way, Victoria Island, Lagos. Time is 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily from 16th to 17th of December 2019. Register now at www.authenticniger.com.ng to book your participation as an exhibitor. For bookings and inquiries, please call 0701-312-2480 or 0812-415-4257 or 0708-006-3188 or 0812-3612-685. You can also send us an email at info@authenticniger.com.ng. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Niger Authentic. See you soon.
My name is Yemi Adetunji, the COO downstream of NNPC. Ever since the closure of the borders, we have seen a marked reduction by 10% in terms of the evacuation of what you call loadouts of PMS, which equates to about 6 million liters per day, essentially because of the border closure, because of certain aspects we've also done as NNPC, working with our sister organizations, sister agencies, Nigerian Customs, DPR, Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources, and other agencies, and also what we call Operation White, which is an intervention we have put in place to trace and track every molecule of petroleum products as they arrive in country through the vessels, as they move through the depots, and as they are evacuated with trucks out of the depots.
Thanks for staying tuned. Now, reports just reaching us says the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has declined to vary the bail conditions earlier imposed on Richard James Nolan, the Briton, accused of fraud and money laundering in the $9.6 billion judgment obtained by the Process and Industrial Development Company, PNID, against Nigeria. We'll keep you updated on this development in our subsequent bulletins. Now, December 10th is the International Human Rights Day, and Nigeria has already taken stock of areas that need immediate legal action to stem the tide of emerging human rights abuses. Mia Ogidi reports that the National Human Rights Commission is holding a summit in this regard in Abuja.
Chains in their legs, frustration and untold pains, imprisoned in lonely hearts, falling prey to predators of human rights. Some sexual and gender-based, lately reform centers, and sometimes non-compliance with rules of engagement by security personnel. But all hope is not lost.
Some of our achievements since I've been at the helm of affairs of the Commission include the facilitation of the payment of the sum of 135 million as compensation to victims as a result of counter-insurgency operation in Apo. We have also launched and commenced the implementation of our 2020 to 2023 strategic work plan.
The 2019 Human Rights Summit, an award night, was indeed a night to forget the mistakes made during the day in the human rights cycle, but how to defend those living in vulnerable situations.
The Gender Equality Bill before the 9th National Assembly must be passed into law.
The federal government is committed to guaranteeing the promotion and protection of human rights, respect for the rule of law and sanctity of human life.
Individuals, institutions, corporate bodies, and states standing up for the human right to ensure that justice takes the place of fear, dignity against exploitation, and respect against humiliation, got some credentials.
The much talked about emergency system is now being integrated with the model system of education.
With these awards, they are going back to their various states to be worthy ambassadors of the National Human Rights Commission and to ensure that issues of human rights abuses are squarely dealt with. Mia Ogedi, NT News.
The presidency has reacted to some of the insinuations in the media about the arrest by the Department of State Services of Omoyele Sowore. In a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, the DSS does not necessarily need the permission of the presidency in all cases to carry out its essential responsibilities, the statement says. Anyone who has followed his actions and words should not be surprised that Sowore is a person of interest to the DSS, as no government would allow anybody to openly call for destabilization in the country and do nothing. Nigerians are therefore implored to let the course of justice run peacefully. And to security now, the need for intelligence fusion and collaboration to have all stakeholders on board in the pursuit of implementation of the National Security Strategy document has been re-echoed on NTS Good Morning Nigeria. Security experts applauded the document but emphasized the need for holistic approach to carry the citizenry along in truly knowing that security is everyone's business. Lydia Sampson will tell us more.
Nigeria, like most nations of the world, is battling emerging security challenges, but those were not captured in the country's last security strategy reviewed in 2014. The need for another review birthed the 2019 National Security Strategy document, which was recently inaugurated by President Muhammadu Buhari. Security expert says that was apt.
One of the things I didn't see in that document is the nexus between how did we fare in 2014, the 2014 National Security Strategy? What were the successes? What were the failures? What were the wins? And how does it reflect in the new strategy? Is not there.
What we now have is a situation in which most of the terrorists and so on are now widely spread out within the nation, and which makes it a bit more complex and require new strategies as well. If properly implemented, and then the whole population sensitized right down to the lowest level of how they fit in to the national security architecture, the better for us in this country, and that we will achieve more.
The guests reiterated the need for proper documentation of ungoverned spaces as well as unemployment, which they describe as drivers of most insecurity.
I've tried to analyze the document along three lines. The consultation process that was involved in creating the document, the stakeholder engagement, the results and implementation framework for that document. Unfortunately, I've seen some gaps here and there. The intention, I would say, is very, very good.
There is a center of counterterrorism at the ONSA, that is the National Office of the National Security Advisor. This Center for Counterterrorism is a department, but for implementation purposes, this center needs to be made to become a national center for counterterrorism as obtained in other places.
They called for introduction of performance yardstick for review of progress and also emphasized the need for seamless collaboration to avoid duplication of duty and apathy from critical key players. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Still talking security, troops of Operation Lafia Dole have rescued 31 persons abducted by Boko Haram. A statement by the Nigerian Army Operations Media Coordinator, Colonel Aminu Ilyasu, indicates that the victims were liberated during a clearance operations at Mantari, Malam Masari and Gapchari villages in Bama local government area of Borno State. The victims comprises 14 women and 17 children. Several arms, IED making machine and materials were recovered from the clearance operations conducted with support from the Air Task Force. Similarly, 7 members of the Boko Haram terrorist group were killed during the operations, while a member of the group surrendered to troops in Gamboru, Ngala local government area. In other news, known in the past for ceremonial parades marking national events, the old parade ground in Area 10, Abuja, hosted a parade of different kinds. A funfair for orphans and widows organized by the wife of the National Security Advisor, Nafisa Mohammed Mongono. Correspondent Najatu Tijani will give us all the details.
Lifting one another up when the chips are down is the literal message being played out. Their message of hope is for the orphans and widows at this gathering who are usually neglected by society. Leading by example are prominent members of society who hope to make an impact.
You could be someone who doesn't have much money and you can still help someone, even by telling them kind words, encouraging them to do something.
You know, they're widows, so now they're on their own and they have to earn a living. So that's the importance of days like this and the impact that it gives to society.
Cartoon characters and various attractions wow the crowd. Even the National Security Advisor, the Minister of Sport, and the wife of the Governor of Kwara State and a host of other dignitaries join in the fun. Some of the widows who received foodstuff, sewing and grinding machines to encourage self-sufficiency, say on a day like this, they can forget their worries knowing that someone cares. This resonates with 20-year-old John, who lost his father at a young age, leaving his widowed mother to fend for the family.
To event like this, usually after the event, they usually give food stuff and things to empower
our mothers.
The organizers say the less privileged deserve to feel safe, and for children at the fun fair, this means being lifted up by society at all times. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
Let's delve into the broadcasting field. The Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, has launched an online radio, Click Niger, on www.clickniger.net, with a variety of programs to connect the audience, especially the young people on social media platforms. Kenneth Inanim reports that the online radio is designed to complement the terrestrial broadcast of the FRCN.
Many Nigerians and other people around the world have relied on the traditional terrestrial broadcast to receive information from radio stations, including the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN. With the launch of the online radio Click Niger, the FRCN is changing the narrative. To enjoy more of these music and other programs like The Pose, The Nigerian Theme, Before 40, Real Hustlers, Family Bonds, and more, just a click on www.clickniger.net will take you there. Click Niger is a comprehensive online radio broadcast designed to discuss divergent but everyday issues peculiar to Nigeria, and youths are the target.
We have Clapback, which is an internet-based kind of thing, a social media-based program where people speak and people are replying them. Young persons analyzing politics. Let's hear how they analyze all the political drama that is going on in our country.
The FRCN management is optimistic that the online radio will enhance the reach of the station, generate revenue, and influence young people positively in line with its slogan, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
Apart from informing, entertaining, and enlightening the public, it will also help in sustaining the motto of Radio Nigeria.
It's meant to encourage the young people in FRCN to understand that we have gone worldwide. We shouldn't stay just with terrestrial.
I want to also encourage other stations that they should borrow a leaf from this and see everything about it is beautiful.
This dream come true was a brainchild of Capital FM station Abuja, which commenced in 2017. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
And while you're pondering to Click Niger, let's talk the environment. Recent findings by the United Nations Environment Programme indicates that the world's ecosystems are being threatened by plastics littering the environment. Now, to address this environmental concern, a group of youths is partnering with the German embassy to promote a reduction in the use of plastic containers by Nigerians. Olabode Arewa will take it from here.
This is no fashion show. Neither is it an entertainment event. No, this is a gathering of business owners, young Nigerian chief executive officers, a platform created for networking, exchange of business ideas, mentorship, and business growth conversations. Loveth Ladokun, a fashion designer, made a grand entry, clad in her own design, ready to mingle, expand her clientele, and learn new tricks in the industry.
We have to get ourselves equipped by doing businesses and getting ourselves engaged by becoming entrepreneurs.
Helen Ochigbo has a similar intent. Meanwhile, she cashes in on the elegance displayed to make some brisk business.
Young people are hardworking, are doing great in their careers, and are pushing to break all of the boundaries that are before them. It's just great for all of us. It gives us excitement. It makes us proud that we're doing okay.
The theme of the forum is breaking all odds. And like the ladies, Umar and Abdul are all set to do just that in the agricultural sector.
It's a tough time to be a youth in the country, but to be honest, it's the best time as well. So for you to be putting together a platform like this, you are beating the odds, obviously.
I see this forum as a very big way to project the youth of Nigeria and Africa to the world, so them see how enterprising the youth of Africa are, and that we only need enabling environments for us to do much more than what we are currently doing.
These under 30 CEOs are in a hurry to become Africa's next talk of the town in their respective business endeavors. But for Helen, breaking the odds begins now. It's a race to future conquest. One click at the time. In Abuja, Onengiye Fine Face, NTA News.
We sincerely apologize for that mix-up there. That was on the 30 young CEOs on looking at the way forward to expand their sectors. Now, let's go back to the story we called on earlier by Olabode Arewa on reduction of littering, plastic containers in the environment. Okay, we'll definitely bring you that when we have it. But let's move on now to a religious affair. Health problems, insecurity, corruption, family and social problems, Islamic scholars say can be conquered by having faith in Allah. Now, this was stressed at the 4th Islamic Therapy Convention in Abuja. Fatima Umar Buba reports.
It's not the traditional market square, but sites like this are characteristics of such gatherings. Yes, is the coming together of Islamic therapists for a singular purpose, the Islamic Therapy Convention to celebrate with the 2019 set of graduates.
We take the opportunity to enlighten people about the medicine of the Holy Prophet Muhammad.
In a calm atmosphere, the event started with the recitation of the Holy Quran. The Holy Quran, which is the lifeline of the Muslim faithful, is said to have the power to face physical and spiritual challenges. Sheikh Khalid Ali stated this while backing it up by saying no disease exists without a cure.
Quran has the power to even face physical things because of the strong impact of the words of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala.
Part of the event was the unveiling of Ash-Shifa magazine and also the presentation of awards.
We learn about prophetic medicine, which includes the cupping therapy. You have the herbal and then the exorcism too.
I'm so elated. I'm happy about it.
I want people to know that in Islam, we have our own type of medicine, which also involves herbs, as well as prayers and other forms of therapy.
Muslims have been enjoined to always appreciate Islam as conquering pain with faith in fate and Islamic medicine, hope for the future in yesterday's remedies were the topics treated at the convention. Fatima Umar Buba, NTA News.
And still on religious affairs, at the close of the 34th Federal Capital Territory Quran Recitation Competition, Gwagwalada Area Council won 7 positions to top the chart. Abdullahi Suleiman Yaji reports that the competition, organized by the FCT Quran Recitation Foundation, also produced winners that would represent Abuja at the national level.
Abuja Municipal Area Council trailed Gwagwalada in second place, having won in 3 categories, as Buhari Area Council emerged third. Kwali and Abaji councils won the male and female categories in the 30 and 40 levels of his memorization. Abubakar Habib and Aisha Suleiman were crowned overall winners of the competition involving memorization and tafsir.
Any person that is playing can't achieve what he wants. So they should try their best, not too much sleeping.
We do hope and pray that she will get the national honor also for us in the FCT Abuja.
What I can't forget is during the days which I used to sleep in our school after closing hours. We sleep there regardless of the condition.
Other speakers emphasized the importance of talent discovery among young children as a way to stimulate national development.
What I will advise our fellow Muslims regarding this is to marry the two, both Western education and Islamic education. In Islamic education, we are going to be taught the moral aspect of it. If you match the moral aspect of it with our own livelihood knowledge, I think we'll be able to deliver.
Parents should invest on their children educationally. They should invest on their children morally.
Attention will now shift to the National Quran Recitation Competition, slated for Lagos later this year. Abdullahi Suleiman Yaji, NTA News.
Congratulations to all the winners. Now, earlier we reeled out reports on Anti-Corruption Day. Well, Maiduguri is not left out, so let's join Abubakar to bring us more reports from that end. Hello, Abubakar.
That's true, Ruth. Good afternoon to you, and thank you for joining us in Maiduguri. Borno State government has urged the people of the state to join government in the war against corruption by reporting any case against individual or organization involved in corruption for possible prosecution. This came up during an event marking World Anti-Corruption Day in Maiduguri. Naomi Aboku will now tell us more.
This year's commemoration of International Anti-Corruption Day with the theme United Against Corruption was held at the Ramat Square, Maiduguri. In his address during the occasion, the Borno State Governor, Professor Babagana Omar Zulu, represented by his deputy Umar Usman Katafur, said the APC government, under the leadership of President Muhammad Buhari, has sealed up the fight against corruption and articulated zero tolerance on corruption as its development agenda. Borno State government, on the need to instill the values of due process, accountability and probity in public expenditure, has directed the transfer of the Monitoring and Evaluation Department under his office, while the 2019 procurement bill have been asserted with the aim of reducing leakages and waste in government. In an address of welcome, the EFCC zonal head in Borno State, Mr. Lawrence Iwodi, said the EFCC Maiduguri Zonal Office in 2019 has secured 23 convictions and has recovered the total sum of over 244 million naira in addition to an interim forfeiture order secured involving 5 units of properties, while other 5 properties and 3 vehicle process of interim forfeiture is completed. In their separate goodwill messages, the representatives of CSO, Organized Labor, NUJ, NBA and NAO agreed that the fight against corruption is a fight for everyone to join hands. In Maiduguri, Naomi Aboba, NTA News.
Borno State Command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has attributed the success recorded in apprehending some criminal elements in the state to the confidence built by the command in the minds of the citizenry. The Commandant, Abdullahi Ibrahim, made this remark while handing over items intercepted by the command to the owners. Yagum Subukar has the rest of the story.
Parading the suspects and handing over items intercepted to the owners, Borno State Commandant NSCDC Ibrahim Abdullahi says, due to improved security in the state, level of criminality has drastically reduced.
Most of these activities of miscreants are with the active connivance of the insiders.
86 cartons of school-in-a-box UNICEF educational kits meant for Guzamala local government were diverted, depriving over 3,000 pupils and 86 teachers from benefiting. Others are 18 meters armor cable, where upon investigation and open land at Pompomari bypass, 4 transformers were also discovered. A fake NGO vendor was also paraded for criminal conspiracy, cheating and forgery, who specializes in collecting individuals' cars in the name of hiring to NGOs, but end up fabricating forged documents to sell the vehicles. Fortunately, the command recovered 3 Highlander jeeps, while a Land Cruiser is currently at police headquarters. Similarly, 8 Fulani herdsmen were reported to have disputes with some farmers for grazing on their farmlands, where the command investigated both parties and ordered the herdsmen to compensate the farmers. Commandant Ibrahim Abdullahi has since handed over all intercepted items to the rightful owners and called on the public to be more security conscious. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
That's a contribution from Maiduguri. Let's now return to Ruth in Abuja for more reports on Nationwide. Do enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, Abubakar. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari will depart Abuja Tuesday for Egypt to attend the Aswan Forum designed to set an agenda for sustainable peace and development in Africa. In a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says the forum, which is an initiative to address the interconnections between peace and development in Africa while promoting Africa-led solutions through strengthening policies and practices. The initiative has been launched by the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. In his capacity as a chairman of the African Union and as an advocate of post-conflict reconstruction and development in Africa, the gathering is expected to bring together heads of states and government, leaders from regional and international organizations, financial institutions, private sector and civil societies, as well as scholars, visionaries and prominent experts for action-oriented discussions on the threats, challenges and opportunities. The president will be accompanied by Governors Amadou Fintiri of Adamawa, Godwin Obaseki of Edo, and May Malabuni of Yobe State. Others are Minister of Defense, General Bashir Magashi, retired, Minister of State Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Zubairu Dada, National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Mongunu, retired, and the Director General, National Intelligence Agency, Ambassador Ahmed Rufai Abubakar. All right, Port Harcourt is our next stop on Nationwide as we join Debabari. Hello, Debabari.
Good afternoon, Ruth, and welcome to Port Harcourt. Critical investigations have commenced on the issues surrounding the decommissioning of operations of some ports and terminals within Rivers State Maritime Domain. This followed the visit of the House of Representatives Committee on Privatization and Commercialization to the state on oversight. Ijoma Wiki reports.
Rivers ports are among the oldest in Nigeria. It is currently facing many challenges of insecurity of the waterways, collapse of berths and dilapidated facilities. It is in view of these challenges that the committees are visiting Rivers ports and terminals. The committees on privatization, commercialization, ports and harbour, while investigating some of the issues concerning the revocation of Bua Terminal, they assured quick interface with stakeholders to give it a fair hearing.
Privatization must be successful, the people must be the king of the economy, and the parliament must stand for justice, fairness, and equity. And that's all we are doing.
Now that they have promised, my management is going to participate in that promise they made that they are going to mediate.
The committees had tour of the ports complex and terminals, promising government willingness to rehabilitate the ports. In Port Harcourt, Ijomu Gweke, NTA News.
Recapitalizing electricity distribution companies, adequate provision of smart meters and efficient collection of power consumption bills will address the challenges of stable and sustainable power supply in Nigeria. Paul Abel reports that this formed part of a 9-point communique issued at the end of the inaugural top management power sector stakeholders retreat held in Calabar on the theme Building Synergy for Effective Service Delivery in the Power Sector.
Despite several attempts by past administrations to boost electricity generation and transmission in the country with the establishment of NIPP gas plants, no significant progress has been recorded as Nigeria is still battling insufficient power supply. To change this narrative, the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration embarked on several policies, and this gathering of key players in the power sector is to synergize using the effective project delivery approach as contained in the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan.
It is our collective responsibility to improve the delivery of electricity service for the well-being of every Nigerian.
It's in the interest of the nation and all of us here gathered to synergize.
Interactions at this meeting focuses on 5 key areas in the electricity chain, and participants say it is novel if resolutions are implemented as soon as possible.
We will work with the minister to ensure that we achieve those set goals.
This synergy will ensure that what is generated is distributed.
Other resolutions at the retreat include better funding for effectiveness of training in the power sector value chain in Calabar. Paul Abel, NTA News.
All right, that's the much we can take from Port Harcourt. Thank you for staying tuned. All right, let's move on. The President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of a new board for Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS. subject to Senate confirmation. A renowned tax consultant, Mohammed Nanim, as the new chairman. The board is composed of a member representing each of the 6 geographical zones and statutory representatives from a select number of ministries and government agencies. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, indicates that Mohammed has almost 3 decades of practical working experience in auditing, tax management and advisory and management services to clients in the banking, manufacturing services and public sectors, as well as non-profit organizations. Mohammed Nami attended Bayero University, Kano, and Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, where he obtained a bachelor's degree in sociology in 1991 and a master's of business degree in 2004. He is currently the managing consultant of Manam Professional Services, Chartered Tax Practitioners and Business Advisors based in Kaduna, Abuja, Niger State. Chairman of FIRS, Babatunde Fowler, whose term of office expired on Monday, 9th December 2019, is expected to hand over to the most senior director on the board, who will take charge pending the Senate confirmation of the new board. Well, let's join Sokoto Network Center for more reports on Nationwide.
Thank you, Ruth. Good afternoon and welcome to Sokoto. The construction of rural grazing area Ruga, recently embarked upon by the Zamfara state government in Maradu local government area of the state, is going smoothly as the project has begun to take shape. The work, which commenced barely 2 months ago, has reached about 50% stage of completion. Salamatu Umar reports.
Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol of Sokoto State had in September 2019 led the foundation for the construction of Ruga settlement at Ranji Forest of Maradu local government area of Zamfara State. The project was conceived by Governor Bello Muhammad's administration as part of strategy towards achieving a lasting peace in the state. Work on the construction of police outpost, security towers, Jumat Mosque, Islamic school, housing units, hospital, veterinary clinic and abattoir, among other facilities, is at various stages. The portion for cattle ranches and vegetations have also been earmarked on the site.
At this juncture, we've moved almost around 25%, yes, of the entire project.
The coordinator of the project and director architecture and building at the Zamfara State Ministry of Works and Transport, Ibrahim Yakubu Shinkafi, said no fewer than 16 gailis, which were originally not captured in the plan, have now been identified, saying the challenge is being addressed accordingly.
This is the end point of this road that comes from this place, and this is where it starts. So it means we have to have a culvert here. This is another kuli that we are talking about, which will add to the addition of costs in terms of this contract.
Some Fulanis in the area who spoke with NTA News applauded Governor Bello Muhammad for the wonderful initiative and reaffirmed their support to the ongoing peace initiative in the state. From Gusau, Salamatu Umar Abdullahi, NTA News.
More communities in Sokoto are benefiting from fish restocking program aimed at improving fisheries activities in the state. Muhammad Nasir reports that Musa communities in Yabo local government area join other beneficiaries of the program. The report.
Fish restocking in Sokoto State was jointly initiated by the federal and Sokoto State government, aimed at fisheries development, provision of job opportunities, and boosting economy, among other objectives. It was earlier carried out in Kwari and Shagari, and now the state government extended it to Musa community in Yabo local government area. The exercise carried out at Gulben Mashaya Musa of Musa village is designed to provide adequate healthy fish for human consumption and to boost the economic status of the community. Fishermen are therefore directed to refrain from fishing activities at the river until after 6 months to allow the fish to mature and to achieve the set goals.
And at the same time also ensure that they abide by the rules, the non-rules when such facilities are provided, especially when the fingerlings are put in the rivers.
As the fishermen are banned from fishing activities at the river, the government has resolved to support them with assorted grains and grinding machines, in addition to provision of canoes and other modern fishing tools. Community leaders in the area applauded the government commitment to improve living standard of the beneficiaries. Other communities to benefit from fish restocking in Sokoto State are Kibiari in Yabo local government, Gatawa in Southern Borno local government, and Gwaranyo in Gwaranyo local government. In Sokoto, Muhammad Nasir, NTA News.
That's the much we can take from Sokoto with Asmao. Let's take a break. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.
And beyond. As Kogi Africa turns 20, we thank you and invite you to join us in the quest for 20 must-visit destinations in partnerships with the largest TV network in Africa, the NTA, Ministry of Information and Culture, Ministry of Transportation, Studio 24, Delta Airline, Toll Brokers International. You too can still be a partner. Call the numbers on your screen or info@kogiafrica.tv. Kogi Africa, celebrating 2 decades of heritage, travel and tourism.
My name is Balaunti. I'm the Managing Director of Petroleum Product Marketing Company, a subsidiary of NNPC. There are significant price discrepancy between Nigeria and its neighbors across Africa. There's a discrepancy of between 150 to 250 naira. That creates an incentive for arbitrage, whereby smuggling triumphed by taking petroleum products across the neighbors so that they can be sold at higher price. While the smugglers are making the money, Nigeria is paying for it. And that payment is distorting everything that we do in terms of planning, in terms of our ability to fund, and thereby taking money that is meant for development. The introduction of this Operation White will have a reduction of close to 6 million liters on daily basis, which if we take an average of 150, translate to a saving of over 1 billion naira every day. That is the benefit of Operation White, and we have started seeing the great benefit.
Thanks for staying with us, and Sports Updates is next with Olumide Eguntola.